Chapter 45. My sneakers cut paths through the slush in the parking lot as the big soldier dragged me backward, away from the Homeland Security building. A white van screeched up behind us, and its side door flung open. Hands grabbed me, dragged me inside, and the door slid shut with a bang. "Go," the soldier said, his voice deep and urgent. The van accelerated. It was dark inside, windowless, and it took me as long to catch my breath as it did for my eyes to adjust. I was on the floor of an empty cargo van. There were 2 seats at the front, only one of them was occupied. The driver was a young white guy with sandy brown hair, wearing all black, but that's all I could make out from my angle. The big soldier sat on a low metal bench welded to the van wall behind me, his huge black army boots by my head. Another man, tall but thin, sat in shadow on a bench on the other side of the van, facing me. "Well," the shadowy man said, his voice instantly familiar. "I have to say you certainly made that a lot harder than it had to be." "Mr. Hagen?" I said. It was. A passing streetlight lit up the inside of the van, illuminating his thin, stubbly face. I sat up. "Mr. Hagen? But what? How? Why?" "All very good questions," Hagen said. "Have a seat, and I'll try to answer them all. We don't have much time." A phone rang, and Hagen pulled his out of his pocket and looked at the screen. He held up a finger. "I need to take this," he said. He answered it and held it to his ear. "Hagen." He waited. "Escaped, you say?" He feigned surprise and looked right at me. "Now how did he do that?" I climbed up onto the bench beside the soldier as Hagen listened, and I purposefully slid a few inches away. My chest still throbbed from the big guy's punch. I had been hit a lot in football games, but I'd never taken a shot as hard and painful as that man's fist. "Did he now?" Hagen said. "Did he now? Incredible. And you think he had help?" "I see. Do you have a description of the vehicle?" "Yes, I see. Yes, of course. I was already headed in. I'm in the car as we speak. If I see the van, I'll do what I can to detain it." "Yes, all right." Hagen hung up and put the phone back in his pocket. "It seems you've managed a daring escape, Cameron Smith. Far more daring than the more prosaic one I had already arranged for you." "But you said—" Hagen put up a hand. "I always meant to break you out. The moment the higher-ups told me we were finished, that they had their one and only terrorist plot all taken care of, thank you very much. Now get back to your cubicle, Mickey Hagen. I knew I had to do something. We had to do something. And that meant getting you away from there." "So you believe me," I said, "about Darius being in Arizona?" I felt a huge weight lift off my shoulders. I'd been so convinced I was alone. I'd been ready for it, ready to go it solo, to sacrifice everything to help my brother if I had to. But to know I had at least one ally, and a smart, connected one at that, was a huge relief. "You believe me again," I said. "No," Hagen said. "I never stopped believing. But I couldn't very well come into your cell and say, 'Cameron, I'm sending in a friend of mine with all the right papers to transfer you to another facility, but he's really breaking you out.' You noted, of course, the camera in the corner." I turned to look at the big soldier. Hagen had sent him to get me out, and I'd smacked him in the face with a metal tray. The soldier didn't look at me. He was busy disassembling the gun I'd taken from him, and that he had taken back so easily. "They'd have heard me, seen me for sure if I tried to tell you," Hagen went on. "I had to play it the other way, in fact. Convince you we were finished, so as to allay suspicion when you did escape. I'd be suspect number one in helping you escape, you see, close as we were. So I came to you and played the part of the insecure intelligence agent, the role I was born to play. I don't mind playing the fool, but I hated to hurt you like that. I'm sorry, Cameron." I shook my head. It didn't matter. All was forgiven. I was in a van, speeding away from the building where I'd been held, speeding toward Darius in Arizona. So I went home to watch telly and sent Dane Redmonier in for you, Higgins said, nodding at the big guy. Dane's an old friend of mine. His specialty is getting people in and out of dangerous places. He's ex-Special Forces. I knew what that meant. Special Forces soldiers were Green Berets, highly trained elite soldiers who specialized in unconventional warfare. You could drop a team of Green Berets behind enemy lines, and in a week, the 12 of them would walk out again with the warlord they'd been sent in after, without anybody else ever knowing they were there. They were the best of the best. I was only after a routine snatch and grab, Higgins said. But you made it anything but routine. The young sandy-haired driver laughed, a real delighted laugh like he enjoyed any kind of chaos. First time I ever seen somebody get the drop on Dane, he said, cackling. Took his gun, too. Cameron, meet Jimmy Doran. Jimmy's our tech guy, Higgins said. The driver waved. He's the one who looped the video in your room when Dane went in. He's also the person who unlocked that key-coded door for you in the stairwell. You? I stammered. Jimmy laughed again. Wouldn't have had a clue where you were until the system registered all those wrong tries. Mashing all the buttons was a particularly nice touch, he said. I killed the alarm you should have triggered and unlocked the door for you. Dane ejected the bullet clip from the butt of his gun and frowned at it. There's 6 bullets missing, he said. He turned his hard eyes on me. You shoot somebody? No, I said. The only thing Cameron killed was one very stubborn fire extinguisher, Higgins said with a grin. Saw that on the security camera feed, Jimmy said from the front seat. Nice trick. I was about to kill the lights for you, but you did all right on your own. It took you 6 shots to hit 1 fire extinguisher? Dane said. I've never shot a gun before, all right? I said. Oh, hang on, guys, Jimmy said. I gotta pick up this hitchhiker. She's a real looker. What? I looked at Hagen trying to understand. We couldn't stop for hitchhikers. Hagen's eyes told me to wait. The van slid to a stop, and the gorgeous woman from the elevator climbed into the passenger seat.